Welcome to the weekend edition of the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. I'm Michael Thompson, and hello, Sean Aylmer.
Hello, Michael.
Sean, on weekdays, it's all about the Fast 5, the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. On the weekend, though, we still keep it to 5 minutes, but we're going to pick out the biggest business story of the week, the most remarkable business story, the sleeper story, one that's kind of flying under the radar a little bit, and then our favourite story of the week. So let's jump straight into the biggest story this week, Sean.
Massive week for markets. The S&P ASX 200 got to within 100 points of its all-time high. That was back in August 2021, about 7,600 points. Been remarkable since the end of October. The market's actually up about 7%. The biggest contributors has been the big iron ore companies. Telstra did really well this week. The energy companies did well, though they did have a tough 2023. Even consumer discretionary stocks did well. The reason for the bourse ending this year on a high is confidence that interest rates have peaked in the US and will start falling next year. Same deal here. In fact, Commonwealth Bank and ANZ reckon we'll have rate cuts next year, Michael.
That is quite extraordinary. And one little add-on to that, Sean, another big element to this week was the fact that we are so close to Christmas, but there was this mad rush this week of M&A activity, all these big deals and kind of all well over $1 billion kind of thing. There's like 4 or 5 different things that happened this week, which is just crazy to think that we are so close to Christmas, yet there is still so much activity in the market.
Yeah, sure is. Tell me, Michael, what was your most remarkable story for the week?
The most remarkable story, there's only really one contender for this, Sean, and it's Donald Trump's ambition to return to the White House hitting a wee bit of a snag. The Colorado Supreme Court ruled that the former president is disqualified from holding office again. It's all to do with a rarely used part of the Constitution because the court said that he engaged in insurrection with his actions leading up to the January 6th storming of the Capitol. Anyway, the former president obviously took it well, Sean. He described it as a shame for the country, a sad day for America. It's going to be appealed to the US Supreme Court. That's got a Republican bias compared to the Colorado Supreme Court, which has an all-Democrat appointed bench. So it's probably going to be overruled, but still a pretty remarkable week in US politics.
There's just one thing I want to mention for my most remarkable story. The airlines in Australia are doing worse than last year. Virgin's on-time record last month was 54%. Qantas was 62%. The best is actually Jetstar at 68%. Things are going worse than last year. I can't believe that. That is quite remarkable.
The best is actually Jetstar. Did you ever think you would say that, Sean?
No, I did not.
All right, a sleeper story, one that's flying under the radar. What have you got for us?
This is a bit scary because of the implications, not just for oil markets, but inflation and interest rates as well. There's been pirates in the Red Sea. Basically, they're backed by Iran and they're disrupting shipping. A couple of oil and gas giants said they won't allow their tankers off the coast of Yemen. Now, that's unavoidable to go that way if you want to use the Suez Canal, which cuts the time between Europe and Asia. A bunch of major container shippers are doing the same. It means you've got to go around the Cape of Good Hope. That makes it a much, much longer journey. It also makes it much, much more expensive. Not sure how this is going to play out, but there's a real chance that this cost of goods, think fridges, TVs, stuff like that, they could get more expensive because these pirates are stopping the cheapest way to ship the goods. Something to keep an eye on, Michael.
Yeah, certainly is. All right, favourite story. This is always the best category, isn't it? Can I nominate one for this?
Please.
It is a humble number plate, a New South Wales number plate that is currently in an online auction. The number plate says 1. It is just the number 1, the New South Wales 1. It was owned by the first New South Wales Police Commissioner, hasn't changed hands in more than a century. It is now going to change hands. It is currently up to $10 million, Sean, in the bidding. And there are forecasts that it could actually go much, much higher. Overseas, we've seen some extraordinary prices for number plates. In Dubai in particular, the P7, the number 7 number plate there, sold for $22.3 million earlier this year. It beat the Dubai 1 number plate that sold, 15 years ago for $21 million. Wouldn't it be fantastic if the New South Wales 1 number plate actually beat those and became the most expensive number plate in the world? Just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but it would be great. I've got to have a special shout out to Richard White, worth $11 billion, started WiseTech Global, obviously very wealthy, spent $11 million to bankroll the takeover of music publisher the Bragg Media this week. Think Rolling Stone, Variety, Billboard, Rotten Tomatoes, Hollywood Reporter. Good on him. In fact, he actually used to repair guitars for AC/DC and the Angels. Bit of a rocker himself. Now he's putting his money back in the industry. Good on you, Richard White.
Yes, amazing story. There we go, 5 minutes and pretty much everything you need to know in the world of business. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
We'll be back on Monday morning with the best business stories of 2023. Don't forget to hit follow and join us online on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook and X. I'm Michael Thompson and this is the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed.